Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Sanctuary live on YouTube and in English. Whew, we have so much to talk about. So, I have my coffee. It's Sunday, it's noon, and I'm still kind of waking up. So, if you need to, you can grab some water. I also have my water here because I drink so much. I drink coffee, tea, water like crazy. So you can grab yours and you can say hi in the chat. Let me see where the chat is. I haven't been here in a while. Chat filter. Start a poll, start a Q&A. I can't see the chat. Hold on. Welcome. You start coming and typing things in the chat, it will pop up for me on the screen. Last but not least, always need a checkup. Always need to check in and see from the other phone or device if everything is working. So it should say that I'm live. Yeah, I'll say hi in the chat, okay? Come say hi in the English sanctuary. Oh, I've got so much to tell you. If you're here live with me, which, on YouTube doesn't happen very often, but I want to make it more into a regular thing live on YouTube for our English Sanctuary. But in the meantime, English Sanctuary has gone to a totally different place, which I had not anticipated. Music channel. Hi, I like you. Thank you so much. Stay here if you want to. And for music, stick around because I will tell you what happened with the English Sanctuary live stream. There's just, the story is crazy. Hello, Anthony. Hi. Tell me where you're typing from and what the time is for you. For me, it's noon. I'm here in Poland, so it's literally 12 p.m. And I'm gonna be playing with my hair because I've just done it. And I put some product into it so that it's like this. So I'm gonna be doing that. That was also the vibe for our first English Sanctuary live stream, which you can watch after this one. This is the second one ever, and I'm so excited to be here with you for this roughly an hour, maybe less, probably not more. So let me tell you what it is, what this space is, what we're going to be doing, and then we'll move on to the main part. So before we begin with anything, I work with breath, with intentional breathing. This is something that I have been doing since 2020. When the pandemic started, I got into breath work. Hello, Grzegorz. Hi. Stay around, stick around, because we are going to spend this hour in a totally different vibe when it comes to learning English. I've been working with intentional breathing for 5 years. I have been practicing intentional breathing for 5 years, and every time I have a class, every time now I have a radio show, and every time I do anything, meditate, journal in the morning, or do whatever, I combine it with breathing. And since I called this space English Sanctuary, what I want us to do is I want us to take a few breaths together so that we can settle down, ground into the present moment, just like in yoga, just like you would in any kind of movement mind practice when it's necessary to be focused and centered. Okay, this is going to be super easy. You don't have to be breathing in any fancy ways. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking 5 breaths and I'm gonna be counting you. So it's gonna be like this. We're gonna be breathing in for the count of 5. So it's gonna be like this. 5. At the top, we're gonna hold. So you're gonna be holding with the air in your lungs for 5. Then we're gonna be breathing out for 5. So it's gonna be like until there's no air left in your lungs. And then at the bottom, we're gonna hold with no air on empty for 5. So it's gonna be for 5, hold for 5, out through the nose for 5, and hold at the bottom for 5. What you don't want to do is you don't want to raise your arms and your shoulders like this. So it's not gonna be like, no. So relax your shoulders right now. And make sure that you are breathing not only through your chest, so you don't want to be doing anything like this. No, that's not what we want. We want a deep breath starting, maybe if I turn a little bit, starting with your belly. So it's gonna be like you breathing in and the air is gonna go to your belly first, then it's gonna be going to your rib cage and then to your chest. So let me just demonstrate it once. So it's gonna be like this. I'm gonna release all the air and then I'm gonna take a breath in, okay? And then releasing. Okay, so it's gonna be going straight to your belly, straight to your diaphragm, and then we're gonna be releasing in the same way. The reason is, sometimes in life, we breathe, like our breaths are too shallow when we are just breathing through our chest, especially women, because men breathe with their bellies, with their diaphragms more naturally. For us women, it's more like here, and it should be like here, okay? So we are gonna start right now. If you're not sitting comfortably, make sure you're sitting comfortably. You don't have to close your eyes. You don't have to be in a seated position like this in a lotus one. You can just be in your chair. You can even be standing. But just for this 1 minute of conscious breath, you can see how this intentional way of breathing can slow your nerves down, calm you down, and put you into a more relaxed state, okay? So first of all, let's all release all of the air that we have now, and let's take one breath to settle just in and out, okay? So exhale everything that you have in your lungs right now through your mouth. You can do it through your mouth. Seal your lips and breathe in through the nose, out through the nose. And now we're gonna be starting our breath for 5, okay? So take your breath in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top. You have a lot of air in your lungs. Hold at the top for 3, 2, 1. Exhale through your nose for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the bottom. No air in your lungs. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in for 5. Hold at the top for 5. Exhale through the nose for 5. Don't go faster than me. Hold at the bottom for 5. Make it as slow as you can. Inhale for 5. Hold at the top for 5. Nice, isn't it? Exhale through the nose for 5. We've got 2 more. Hold at the bottom for 5. Inhale through the nose for 5. Hold at the top for 5. Exhale through the nose for 5. You're doing great. Hold at the bottom for 5. And this is our last breath. Make it count. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale through the nose for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the bottom for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in through the nose. And exhale through the mouth, let it out. You can even sigh it out. Let's do it one more time. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, sigh it out. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. You're relaxing your body. And the last one, let's do it one more time. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, sigh it out. Beautiful, beautiful. How are you feeling? How are you doing? Let me know in the chat if that has done something for you. If you're feeling like you have a little bit more saliva in your mouth, that's normal, because when we are more in the relaxed state, this stimulates our saliva. This is like a relaxation response from the body that it's safe to digest food because we are not in the fight or flight state anymore. So more saliva is good. If you're feeling a little bit tingly in your fingers, that's because you have just absorbed a little bit more oxygen, which has traveled to more cardiovascular, what's the name for it? Like blood vessels, etc., all over your body. So if you're feeling a little bit lightheaded too, know that it's normal. Drink a little bit of water, relax, and go back to your natural rhythm of breathing, and it's gonna be all good. Fantastic. Thank you, Anthony. I'm really glad that you practiced and that you are feeling better after this. And music, you are feeling better too. Amazing. You can do it at any point of your day, any point of your life. Remember this technique, if you want to remember it, it's called box breathing or equal ratio breathing. You can apply it before any stressful situation or just during the day if you are going through the motions and you're like, whoa, I'm feeling kind of stressed, or like, I'm feeling tired, I don't know what's happening. You know, when we work, and we just are on the go, sometimes we lose touch with our breath. And think about it, in all stressful situations, when we are experiencing a lot of extreme stress, people say, breathe deep, calm down, right? So you can practice breathing deep for yourself, just to put your body in an even more relaxed state, no matter where you are. You don't have to be in a very stressful situation to do that. I mean, look at us. We are at this, in this space at English Sanctuary, and it's not a very stressful, very dangerous space, but even starting out with a few breaths can really make us more grounded and more focused. So cheers to you, and let's start with what this space is and what we're going to be doing today. Okay, so this is a space for learners of English who can ask me questions and I can answer them. It's Antonia Flores, first time here too. So glad that you're here. You can stay. You can ask me questions. We're going to be here for an hour, so depending on where you are, for me it's 12:16 p.m. So we are gonna be here together until 1 p.m. for me. So we have 45 minutes still. You can ask me questions related to learning English, using English, speaking English. It can be about anything: vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, listening, speaking, writing, anything. I will make sure to answer as many questions as I can. And the reason why I'm doing this live stream is because, first of all, this is our second one. The first one was in January, and I really wanted to make it a regular thing. Since we did the first one, I think on January 30th or January 31st, I don't remember now, but today is March 30th, so it's regular. 2 equal months, like equally, like not equally, what the, um, precisely 2 months apart, which is great. But in between, English Sanctuary has gone into different places, which I'll tell you about in a second. But when I first started in January, I wanted to create a space for everyone who is learning English, who is also on my channel because I have so many of you here, who wants to learn with more intention, everyone who wants to learn and have a more open mind, more open heart, and an increased knowledge of English and increased confidence in English. Because I know that sometimes when we learn in traditional settings, like at school, in language schools, it can be very method wait methodological. You know what I mean? It can be very like, this is the program, this is how we're going, this is what we're doing, and we have to go in this very specific way according to this particular structure, which is not bad. I am not negating that. However, this is not the only way to learn. And the best results come from finding the approaches to learning and ways of learning that work for you. If something works for you, it doesn't even have to work for others. But when it works for you, that means it's for you and it works, and you should be doing that. Of course, within reason. But when we were talking about learning languages, learning any skill, like for me, learning to play the guitar, I do it in my own way. And if I am making some kind of like technical mistakes, that's on me. But at least I'm having fun, and I'm not using any excuses that I'm not technically taught to not be learning myself, to not be playing myself. And the same goes for anything. That's why I wanted to create this space, this live stream, but it's more than a live stream. I wanted to create it so that people can come here and experience more calm, more ease, and more groundedness. This is really something that I care about. When we are too much on social media, even right now, even though we are on YouTube, I want to create something different. No fast-paced things happening on the screen, no like crazy editing. No, I want this to be a space to slow the fuck down. Okay. If you want to, you can go back to the first English Sanctuary and watch it after this one. The vibes were amazing too. So I will be also talking a little bit every single time in the English Sanctuary, and then I'll go to the questions. So remember, if you have any questions, put them in the chat. If not, I will just teach. If you don't have any questions, I will just teach on something related to English that is on my heart at the time. Whew. One more thing to set some boundaries. I am not expecting any trolls here or any rude people, but if anyone like this comes into this space and leaves a very, very inappropriate message in the chat, you're gonna be blocked, you're gonna be banned, and you are not gonna be coming back to English Sanctuary. This is just something that I want to do, I need to do to protect my space, myself, and the people who came here. Let me see, Anthony put a question in the chat. If you could explain how to pronounce words such as through, throughout, what is the first one? Throughout? I've always had a problem with it. Thanks. Wait, let me just check out the first one that you put in, because I don't know if I even know this one. Or maybe you thought of thought. Yeah, I guess so. So thought throughout. I got you, Anthony. And Antonio, do you have flashcards are a good way to learn vocabulary? Perfect. We'll get there. Thank you. If you have more questions, we'll get there in the chat and here on the live stream. Um, just for anyone who doesn't know me, in case you don't, my name is Laura. I am Polish. My name is pronounced Laura Maliszewska. This is the name of my channel as well. I am a linguist. I hold a BA, MA, and postgrad in English language and literature, linguistics, and business English. I am a language mentor. I have been doing that for more than half of my life now. I'm going to be 30, and I have been doing that since I was 14, 15. I have online courses. I have this channel, which is in English. I have been doing some Polish here and there on my social media recently, but English is my primary language on my social media just because I love it so much. And my goal is to help as many people as I can express themselves in English in a way that is true to who they are, whether that's with making mistakes, because who fucking cares, whether that's with sometimes forgetting one word, because we do that in our native languages too. Just think about the last time when you were in speaking in your native language and you were like, what's the word? Like, and trying to remember. Like, if that happens to you in English, I do not want you to judge yourself negatively for it, because when you do that in your native language, you probably just think, oh yeah, I forgot. But then when it comes to the situations in which you speak English, you could be like, oh my God, I forgot, I don't know English enough. No, 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 no. We are getting rid of that perfectionism. We are getting rid of the rigid structures, and I want you to express yourself in a way that when you speak English, you feel like you are who you are in your native language without anything blocking you. So sometimes we may think we don't have enough vocabulary in our brains. Sometimes we might think that, oh, I don't know these grammar structures. Of course, like I know grammar and I teach grammar. So for me, it's kind of like I always struggle with this because I know grammar is important, but I don't want you to feel like if you don't know some grammatical things, it's holding you back. I just want you to be okay with where you are, and I want you to be improving at your own pace. This is my goal, my dream for you. This is what happened to me. I'm just a Polish girl who achieved this level of English through dedication, persistence, love for the language, and obsession, and unstoppable learning. That's it. So this is who I am. So English Sanctuary, very quickly, because that blew my fucking mind, okay? So when I first started English Sanctuary, I did this first live stream here on YouTube back in January of this year, and it was just like this right now, me sitting down on the floor. I love doing that. I spend so much of my time on the floor. I have my incense going. I have stars on my face because I have some spots. I have this setup. I have my coffee. And in the first English Sanctuary live stream, that was the same intention that I had today, that I just shared with you. But what you didn't know and what you don't know is that in the background, in the meantime, you know, I have my own business. Like teaching English is my business. I have my courses where people pay me to learn with me, right? And I've been looking for a way to grow my business. I've been looking for a way to reach more people. And I live in the capital city of Poland, which is something that I never experienced before. I have been living here for 2 years, but before that, I lived in a different city. I lived in Wrocław. So even though Wrocław is huge and it's amazing, like I didn't have as many opportunities as one does have in the capital city, right? So I was thinking, okay, we are in the heart of Poland. What could we do to grow my business and reach more people when it comes to this kind of learning. Because if you've been following me on my channel, on my Instagram, and you know my way of teaching and learning, I'm also a linguist and I talk about language acquisition. Like, for me, it's all a very deep process that cannot be put on the market as learn English in 30 days. Like, no, fuck that. No, it's gonna take more than 30 days, but you can go there in a different way. That's what I want you to understand. And I've been working on that. So since the first, no, not even since then, like before that. So before the first live stream here, I was messaging different places around the city for me to create a live event. Like, I wanted to have like a space in an education center or maybe at a cafe and create a live space, like a live, real life event, especially it was important to me, especially because since the pandemic, I haven't been teaching live, mostly online. So I really wanted to go out to people again. And I was messaging, emailing people, places, cafes, vegan cafes, and I had one response, but then they didn't respond to me. And I get it, like life is busy, but I didn't have many, many callbacks. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it on my YouTube anyway because that's what I wanted. So we did the first live stream. It was amazing. And when you go and watch that live stream, I was talking about my accent and speaking challenge, the 2025 round. We have closed it now. We had 275 people joining us for this round, and it was amazing. We closed it. We had a lot of fun and we learned a lot, and later I'll tell you about the course that followed the challenge, which is actually going to start in 2 hours. Like, I'm going to be welcoming my new students in the welcome ceremony at 2 p.m. So I'm really, really excited. But in the meantime, I was thinking of where could I put English Sanctuary? Like, where should it go? Please, dear universe, show me the way. And when I was talking about the challenge, you know, telling people, hey, if you want to join the free challenge, sign up and learn more about pronunciation, you can do this. I've been doing that on Instagram and here on YouTube, mostly on Instagram. And one day I woke up and I was fucking pissed. I don't know if you know that, but I'm a trauma survivor. I had a very traumatic childhood. My mom passed away 6 years ago. I don't have any parents. I have a very small family, and I was very isolated for a very, very long time. And sometimes when I interacted with people, and I was, you know, in survival mode, thinking that I was gonna, like, I was in a really bad place when when I was in my deepest depression. And once, I think it was February 17, when I was just about to film myself saying, hey guys, you can join the challenge, I was like, fuck no. Today, I feel like crap. Today, I want to say something else to people. I think they might have a different image of me in their heads to what I actually represent. And that's okay, because people can have like any opinion of you. They can have any image of you that they want in their heads. But for me, that day, it was too much. I was like, I don't want you to think that I'm just telling you about this challenge and that I'm this amazing language mentor, which I am, and that I do this amazing thing, which I do. But it's not that easy, because the road to getting there, to this point, has been hell for me, has been fucking hell, because I lost my mom, I lost this, and sometimes it's very difficult for me to pretend like I am just a regular person who has not experienced those things and be like, hi, no, this is not reality. I'm a trauma survivor. I get PTSD symptoms every single day, and I just want you to be aware of that. So I recorded that in Polish. Boom. It went viral. I had never had anything go viral in my entire life when it comes to Instagram. It got 100,000 views, then 200,000 views, then 300,000 views, 400,000 views. It keeps going. And it's in Polish, which also I never do. Like, I have all of my social media in English. This time I started talking about the challenge to reach more Polish people, and that blew up. So to make this story a bit shorter, because I won't go into like as many things as I don't have to go into like all of the comments that I got that it blew up for like in a good way, of course also in a bad way, but who cares. But I got one message, one private message, and this person messaged me, and he was like talking about like, okay, I watched this video and we talked about this video, these emotions, and then he said, you can come to my radio show and listen to it, and he sent me a link, and I was like, okay, great, I can come, I guess. And I thought like as a guest, right? And he was like, okay, I'll talk to the radio management and I will ask if they would be interested. And I was like, wait, what? What are you talking about? I went to the radio station next week, the following week. I met with them. I told them the idea that I had for my radio show. I had this concept of teaching English through English songs and lyrics. And then when they asked me about, like, they asked me what I wanted to call it, I was like, let me think. And I thought about it for 3 weeks. But the only thing that kept coming up was English Sanctuary, but in Polish, you know? So not in English Sanctuary translated into Polish. No, it's still English Sanctuary in English, even though the show is in Polish. But I thought I only have my mindset on this, on English Sanctuary. And I thought, wouldn't it be confusing for people to have like English Sanctuary live stream and English Sanctuary radio show? And I was like, no, because when they see that these are 2 different languages, they will get it. So if you didn't know, I have been doing a radio show, which happened like that. It happened like a month and a half ago, and I have already had 3 shows. This week is gonna be my 4th one. I record all of them. They are gonna be here on my channel. They are gonna be in Polish, so please forgive me, but I haven't really been making Polish speaking content ever since I created my channel, and it's been 6 years, and I thought maybe it's a good way to reach more of my people. So this live stream that we are on right now, I'm gonna keep it in English because I want to. I want to meet you regularly, I want to talk to you in English, and I want to be here to help you with your English, speaking English to you. However, every single Tuesday at 10 p.m., I broadcast live on radio. It's called English Sanctuary, and it's in Polish, me teaching through songs English concepts. So far it has been amazing. And I've gotten an amazing response from so many people telling me that they have been rediscovering their love for learning English, that they have been learning new things. Yesterday I went to my first team meeting with other radio hosts, and they were telling me things about my show that I wasn't even expecting, because they were listening and they were like, this show helped me with this because you taught me this. I helped them with their pronunciation. I help them in expanding their vocabulary. So your questions that you ask right now are perfect. So it's great. It's been going really, really well. And I am so happy that it came to be like this. I'm going to remove this comment. Okay, and I'm going to block you because you are not nice. You are going to be hidden. And I'm gonna be, yeah, okay. Like I said, no trolls allowed. Okay, so this is where I've been with English Sanctuary. I'm really glad that it's been going in this direction. I was never in my life planning on having my own radio show, but it just happened organically. And since we are here in English Sanctuary and that show is also called English Sanctuary, I just needed to tell you that story very quick. You never know what's gonna happen. Like, I kept asking the universe. I was like, please, when I was emailing those places, I was like, please show me where this needs to go, where this concept of me having a live event, where it needs to go. And this radio thing just happened, and I just went with it, and it's been going great. So thank you for listening to this story. Let me now go through the questions that you put, because I don't have more teaching necessarily to do. Like in the last English Sanctuary live stream, we talked about starting where you are and making mistakes. This time it was me sharing this story because it was just insane. And now let me go to your questions, okay? So Anthony, I will read your question again for everyone to hear. And Anthony, if you could tell me your native language in the chat, this is gonna be super helpful, okay? Because I'm a linguist. I work with many different people from many different countries, and I specialize in pronunciation, and it always helps for me to know where the student comes from and what their native language is, because then I can mentally compare the sound systems when it comes to pronunciation and tell you what you could be improving in the future. So please tell me in the chat where you're from and what your native language is, but I will read Anthony's question now. So if you could explain how to pronounce words such as thought, through, throughout, etc. I've always had a problem with it. So this is not this is not easy. That's what I wanted to say. This sound is not easy, and you are not alone, because this sound, and once I know where you're from, I will understand more, but I'll just start speaking now. This sound does not, wait, I just saw something again in the chat, hold on, okay. This sound doesn't occur in many languages naturally. For example, we don't have this sound in Polish. It doesn't exist in French. I believe it doesn't exist in German. In Spanish, you have different types of sounds as well. So it's no wonder that many learners of English who are from many different countries struggle with that particular group of words that have that particular group of sounds. So what you are telling us, Anthony, is that you have a problem with the words that have the TH spelling, right? So TH, so thought, through, throughout. I am exaggerating that, but I wanted to demonstrate it. So if you had a problem with it, the first thing is we need to pay attention and focus on these these sounds. There are two TH sounds in English and in many languages, in most languages. When we have consonants, so like p, t, k, b, m, n, these types of sounds, so not vowels, not a, e, I, no. When we have consonants, we don't have those consonants, but it's important to focus on them and to practice them consciously, because they are present in English, and that's what stresses you out. So the way to, that's what I wanted to say. Consonants are divided into pairs, and each pair has one sound that is voiced and one sound that is voiceless. Let me give you an example very quickly. So when we have a pair, that is usually because they are produced in the same place of articulation. So for example, we have bilabial, so using our mouth, we have bilabial consonants, and we can have bilabial stops, and these are p, like in push, and b, as in bear, right? Push, bear. Both are produced with our mouth. One is voiceless, p, 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 and the second one is b, 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 p, b, p, b. The same goes for t, d. So time, dime, tie, die, etc. The same goes for th sounds. So we have the voiceless and the voiced one, the voiceless one and the voiced one. They are produced, and this is crucial. It may sound silly. You may feel silly. You may feel stupid when you do that, and you might feel like a fucking clown. But I still want you to do what I want you to do. I want you to do what I'm going to demonstrate. Because if you don't do that, you will still be stuck with those sounds. When I was showing you the sounds earlier, what was I doing? I was putting my tongue in between my teeth. And you have to do this. You cannot omit it because you will end up with saying, instead of saying through, you will say through. Or instead of saying throughout, you will say throughout. We don't need throughout, we need throughout. Okay, so you cannot avoid that. You have to do what I'm now gonna be doing with you. So put your tongue between your mouth, between your teeth, like this. You can even bite it, but not too hard. You don't have to be like biting out your tongue. No, you need to just put it in between your teeth so that some air still can go through the small cracks in between your teeth and between your tongue and your teeth. So let's try to do this. So put your tongue in between your teeth and just push air out. So it's going to be something like this. You may feel like you're doing something stupid, but this is not stupid. This is English pronunciation. Okay, so let's do it. More air. And again. I want you to do it with me. Please don't avoid it, okay? Put your tongue in between your teeth, not someone else's teeth. Your teeth. And let's do it one more time. Okay? Now you were just producing the voiceless TH sound in the words that you put in your question, Anthony. And even your name, when it's pronounced with the British or American pronunciation, it's Anthony. So you have this sound in your name. So you can practice with your name. So in the words such as through, thought, throughout. Of course, I'm making this sound longer at the beginning for you to notice that, but when you speak, when you practice speaking more, it's going to be shorter. So it's going to be through, thought, throughout, okay? So this way of producing this sound, just what we did a second ago, so this is the voiceless variant, the voiceless sound. And I will put this, I'm a teacher. I'm gonna put it also in the phonetic description that you have in dictionaries. So when you have the transcription of words on, I don't know, Merriam-Webster, English dictionaries, Cambridge, Oxford, and you see the word through, thought, throughout, this is the symbol. Of course, I made it like with this one bit standing out, but like this is the symbol. So let me just put it like through. I hope it's not also like a mirror image, but since this is just a circle, through. Let me see, one second. I just need to be 100% sure. Through. Yeah, just what I thought. Okay, so both English, both American and British English will pronounce this in the same way. So when we think about this sound, it's gonna be this. And when you want to say through, this is, I hope it's not mirrored, but it's through. 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 Okay, so whenever you go to any dictionary webpage and you check out the transcription and you see this symbol, this is thought, through, think, thank you. Okay, so now let's go to the voiced variant. I'll already put the symbol here. And again, it's gonna be either mirrored or not, but it's so just what we did before. Let's start here. Put your tongue in between your teeth and now make it more strong, make it more vibrant. So put a little bit more pressure on making it like as if you were saying a vowel at the same time. So not only and no vibration of your vocal cords here. Try to engage your vocal cords now. So let's do it like this. I'm exaggerating, but it's good to practice in an exaggerated way because then when we speak, it's easier for us to practice the normal way after our speech organs have been practicing in an exaggerated way. So let's do it with a few breaths. Okay, so some air is gonna be needed. Tongue between teeth, and let's do this. If you spit, that's okay. Let's do it. Again, if you feel silly, it's okay. It's really okay. But remember, this is English pronunciation. That's an actual sound. And now, let's focus on the difference. So let's switch from one to another, okay? So let's do voiceless, voiced, voiceless, voiced, okay? So again, tongue between teeth. Let's do this. Voiced. The voiceless. Voiced. Voiceless. Voiced. You can continue on your own. And this sound, this sound, this sound is at the beginning of the words such as this, that, these, those, the, there, with, without. When you see this symbol, you can even imagine that this is your tongue between your teeth and this is your mouth. I don't know. But voiced, voiceless, voiced, voiceless. So when it comes to the words, Anthony, that you put, it's gonna be thought, through, throughout. The spelling is horrible for throughout, but it's throughout. Whenever you struggle with those sounds, you can come back to English Sanctuary, to this live stream, and practice, because practice makes perfect. And that's why I also put those symbols here for you, because sometimes when we learn English or any other language that has any language that has a phonological system, a sound system, so any language, sometimes when we see those symbols, we might get, I don't know what they mean. So now you can't say it. You know what they mean. Okay? And I want you to understand it because it's going to be useful for you to go through your life knowing how to read those symbols, those symbols, those symbols, those symbols. If you think that I am now being silly, that's because I want you to practice and not feel silly. So I hope that helped. That was the quickest explanation that I could do. Remember to practice. Practice and just make it bigger than it needs to be when you practice. So you can go around your house and be like, like a vacuum cleaner. And then when you actually start speaking, of course, practice with the words as well. So this, that, those. Try to make it into something that you enjoy doing. And then when you go out into the world and you have a conversation in English, it's going to be more natural because your brain is going to already remember that you needed to do this. But then when you're in the conversation, you're not going to be speaking like this, that. No, you're going to be this, that, because your mouth, your tongue, and your teeth, I mean your teeth, maybe more like your tongue, is going to get used to where it needs to be to produce those sounds. Just like when you're playing an instrument, when you're learning chords, you need to practice going from one chord to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, and your fingers need to remember how they need to position on the guitar or on the violin or on the piano. Is the same thing. So practice, practice, practice. Anthony. In English, Anthony. Voiceless. Anthony. Okay. We're gonna be here for like seven minutes. It's mirrored. Okay, so this one, fortunately, is the same. So I'll do the mirror version of the other one, So it's gonna be kind of like this. Okay? You're gonna recognize it. All right. What else? What questions do we have next? Do you think flashcards are a good way to learn vocabulary? Yes, if you use the spaced repetition system. If you asked me about flashcards, I already assume that you may have heard about the spaced repetition system. If not, if you use this system, this is going to be the perfect way to practice with flashcards. Very quickly, spaced repetition means that you revise your flashcards in a way that makes the intervals between retrieving the words that you previously learned longer or shorter. So basically, the words that you remember more easily, you practice, you revise less often, but the words that you struggle with, you revise more often. There are many ways to implement the spaced repetition system. That's why I won't go into detail, but yes, flashcards are amazing. And when you Google spaced repetition system and find a way that is gonna work for you, you are gonna experience wonders when it comes to your English learning. So flashcards are great. Also, maybe to combine your passion for filming and to include your Polish culture could be a good idea. Yeah, so Antonia, what do you mean for like maybe here for my channel? I have had a long break from making YouTube videos. That's why I also came here to a live stream. A live stream is different. I don't have to film it, edit it, produce it. Like I can just show up and it's live and I love it. When it comes to filming videos, I've been at film school. I was at film school actually. I graduated, and I was that was an experience that it was different than I expected. Let's put it this way. But I want to come back to making regular videos. It's just taking some time because I'm doing so much when it comes to my business now. But yeah, I have a passion for filming, and even me filming the Polish radio show is a way for me to express myself on YouTube as well, because it's not just gonna be me, you know, talking to the microphone. It's gonna be like with different angles and different animations. It's amazing. So yeah, and Polish culture. I've been always at the crossroads because I live in Poland, but I speak English mostly. I surround myself mostly with English-speaking music, content, films, videos, YouTube, that sometimes I forget what elements of Polish culture I enjoy even. But there are more than one that I can name that I enjoy. It's just something that I don't really think about when I think of making videos in English. But if that's something that you would enjoy, I will think about it. One video that I thought about making was, it's not related to culture, like, or maybe it is. Yeah, it is. But like, I once made a video about the things that I love most about Wrocław. I thought about like comparing Wrocław and Warsaw for people specifically who want to visit, travel to those places, those cities, or maybe who want to relocate, like what to consider when it comes to Wrocław or Warsaw. I won't speak about any other cities because I've never lived in them, but Warsaw and Wrocław I can compare. I even did one in London when I was talking about London and Wrocław, and that was great. Currently I am in Poland, but originally from Ukraine. Okay, I support you when it comes to anything. I love the fact that Poland and Ukraine, I mean, I don't love the circumstances, but I just love the bond that we have. So, hi. Do children in the US have pronunciation exercises in school, or do they have this skill naturally? So I guess you're asking me if American children, or I guess like children who learn English as their first language, who acquire English as their first language, if they have pronunciation classes just like we had at school for our second language. The question is, maybe, but probably in kindergarten and primary school, because you can think about it this way. The way you learned your native language is also the way that children who speak English as their first language acquire their native language. I actually have a video on my channel. You can go watch it. It's called Language Acquisition. And first language acquisition is what we do when we acquire our native languages, and it doesn't happen through instruction. So it's not like I'm Polish, like I can speak about myself. So when I was born, I wasn't born and people were not telling me, Laura, this is how you pronounce this and this, when I was 6 months old. No, people were just speaking to me. Oh, you're so good. Good girl. Oh, who's my little daughter? Like things like that, right? Speaking like, let's go to the park. Let's go on the walk. Like, do you want to eat something? Like speaking to the child so that the child understands more of the spoken language. And at some point, that after the critical period is over, the child starts to speak. And this is how we acquire our languages, our native languages. We acquire them with the pronunciation, with the vocabulary, with the grammar. Of course, we don't speak perfectly right away. Like when you think of a 4-year-old child, they don't speak like the president, right? They don't speak as if they were educated and they hold a degree and they speak fluent Polish, fluent English. No, they are children. They are acquiring it. Do they sometimes have trouble with pronouncing some words? Of course. Sometimes some languages have, like, it depends on the language. Like sometimes we have like words that are difficult to pronounce for many reasons. Maybe there are too many consonants next to each other. Maybe it's just a weird word and some children struggle with it. It's okay. And then if they struggle with it, they may have some classes at school to practice, or they can go to the specialist to practice if they have like speech impairments. But I'm not sure about like any particular pronunciation exercises in American schools because I have never been to the US and I don't really know about the first language acquisition pronunciation classes in the US. I have never really gone into that, how they do that, but I can tell you from first language acquisition's perspective that it happens naturally. When you learn, when you acquire your first language, your native language, it's not that people tell you, like they give you like this and they tell you now you say th and then you say the. No, it happens organically. It happens because children are absorbing the world, the words and the world around them. They are listening, they are paying attention, because children are like sponges and they absorb everything, and then thanks to exposure and then practice, they can improve their pronunciation. And usually when you have like a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 10-year-old, usually they don't have any pronunciation problems because they acquired their native language's sound system. So when it comes to acquisition, this is how it works. I have a video on that. You can look it up on my channel. But that's a very good question. It doesn't happen the same way for us, because when you have your native language and then you learn a foreign language, let's say English, at school, you do it through mostly instruction, repetition, drills, and practice, 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 because this is a new language for us. So that's why when I was explaining to you the and the difference, I asked the country in the native language, because when we know the native language of the person who learns English, we can know, okay, so your system in your native language doesn't have this sound, so that's why sometimes when you pronounce through or thought, it sounds like true or thought, right? Because you don't have th or the, you have t, d, or f, v, etc., etc. So that's why I asked, because that happens for us differently when we acquire our second language, our third language, etc. But that's a very good question. And we are gonna be finishing, so I will read the last question. Am I learning? Also, I am learning different languages at the same time. Do you have any advice to manage a balance, to have a balance between them? Sorry for the personal question. Do you know also other languages? Yes, I do. Je parle un peu français. Ich spreche Deutsch, but it's not very good. Hablo español, but again, it's very, very basic. And I can understand Italian, Russian, Ukrainian, and Czech. So that's like my variety of languages that I can speak and understand. Well, when it comes to learning different languages, having a balance between them, balance is relative. So if you want to maintain their levels and improve, you need to work out something that is going to work for you. I cannot give you a simple answer to that, because all of us have different lives, all of us have different ways of learning. If we were you know, in my one-on-one session and I was giving you more advice based on what you give me, like this is just one question, but if we had like an hour when you could tell me everything, I would probably be able to tell you, okay, so this is what your life looks like, and that means that you do this and this and this, and maybe here you could improve this, and maybe implement this, and then if you want to speak more of this language, try to make it this and this and this. My advice would be to watch my videos on my channel when it comes to different languages. I have a few of those, and I may have one training, but it's paid. But if you watch my videos, there might be an answer to that question, because this is something that would take too long for me to explain, because it's so relative, so individual. It needs to be a balance in your eyes. So if you want to speak a few languages, learn a few languages at the same time, you need to work out a way to engage in those languages in many different areas of your life in the way that doesn't feel like it's overwhelming for you. But again, this is highly personal, so I will leave you with that. And let me just tell you, it's been great talking to you, having this space to share, to learn, to practice in this way. To sum up, I wanted to also tell you that I don't know if you know this, but I have language courses. So if you ever want to learn with me, I have a How to Learn Languages course, which is more or less also about how to improve pronunciation, how to improve your listening skills, how to improve your understanding of learning languages, methodology, like the way you can learn. I also have American Accent Academy that has just closed for group classes. We had group conversation classes, and we are gonna be welcoming our students in an hour. So I'm really excited. But the course is open for everyone still to sign up. It's just the group classes have closed. So you can still continue to learning inside American Accent Academy. And I have Advanced Grammar University, which is amazing for people who want to learn English grammar on the advanced level. It's not that you have to be advanced to join this course, but if you are B1, B2, and you want to improve, this is the course for you. You can find them on my website, and you can always DM me on Instagram if you want to learn more, or you can email me. And if you have any questions and you're watching the replay and you want me to answer your question in the next English Sanctuary live stream, you can put your question in the chat or in the comments. I will look at the comments and I will pick the questions for our next English Sanctuary live stream, which could be in 1 month, it could be in 2 months. I hope it's gonna be not longer than 2 months since we until we meet again. And in the meantime, if you are Polish, I am inviting you to my English Sanctuary radio show. All of the details you can find also on my channel because I have been sharing the videos from that. Okay. So to ground back and to finish us off, let's all take just 3 deep breaths in and out, everyone at their own pace, just to beautifully close this experience that we had together. Okay, so 3 breaths, everyone at their own time. Thank you so much. Gracias. Thank you. Dziękuję. Merci. Danke. Grazie. Thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you in the next English Sanctuary live stream. And in the meantime, check out my other social media, my Instagram, my TikTok. And if you want to learn with me, my English course is Dzięki. Dzięki wielkie. Mwah. I'll see you in our next live stream. Bye bye.